Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, after the inauguration, it's official. We're all now living in Trump's America. Luckily, the media and celebrities are taking it well. Plus, a woman gets kicked off of a plane for being rude to a Trump supporter. The craziest part of this, it was mid-flight. And finally, the latest fitness trend is exercising while naked. Once again, I see I was ahead of my time. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. She wants to be the first female president of the Donald J. Trump Fan Club. Democratic strategist and senior director of research at Bustle.com, Jessica Tarlov. Sometimes he takes a car, sometimes a bus, but usually he just rides radio host's coattails. Comedian Shillue Agar. His film won top prize at a Berlin Film Festival. They said it got the best audience response since Triumph of the Will. Associate editor for Reason.com, Anthony L. Fisher. And for a man with no soul, he's oddly lovable. Sitting right next to me, comedian and host of Tim Dillon is Going to Hell, Tim Dillon. Okay, let's start the show. On Friday, in front of record-breaking crowds, I'm told, Donald J. Trump was sworn in as our country's 45th president. Some Democrats are still coming to terms with that fact.
You can hear the 21 gun salute in the background. Another signal that for all of that resistance, for all of that opposition, Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States.
On Saturday, of course, there were large protests in cities around the country, and even a few celebrities turned up. At the Women's March on Washington, actress Ashley Judd recited a poem written by a 19-year-old Tennessee woman.
I am a nasty woman. I'm not as nasty as a man who looks like he bathes in Cheeto dust. A man whose words are a diss track to America.
Judd discovered that poem in December and posted it to her Facebook, addressing Trump directly. Enjoy your baptism by slam poetry fire. Meanwhile, Shia LaBeouf has launched a piece of performance art called He Will Not Divide Us. It's a pro-Trump message, I believe. Shia is saying Trump won't divide us. He will unite all of us and make America great again. I could be wrong about that, but here's Shia engaging with a political opponent.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Among certain species, that's considered a mating ritual. Tim?
Yeah.
The overreaction, proper reaction, underreaction. What do you think?
Underreaction.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, they're too relaxed. You know, more chanting, more yelling. This is the problem. If you go on the internet, for any span of time, you're left with the belief that the world is divided into two camps.
Yes.
Neo-Nazis and Shia LaBeouf fans. Two contemptible groups. It's like there's got to be a third way here that goes, yeah, this is a little weird, but the answer can't be chanting and doing these. Whatever Ashley Judd did was, I mean, that was embarrassing.
It was a kind of I think what they call it is a slam poetry.
Yeah.
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 And, but, you know, they got to get their feelings out somehow. Anthony, I mean, she has strong feelings.
She does.
She's an actress. She's in the arts.
Yeah.
And not the martial arts.
No.
Right.
The real arts.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all...
The mixed martial arts.
Oh, sorry, mixed.
But, Anthony, the crowd was really into it. Did you see them? She was really...
I mean,
they loved it.
The crowd would have been to just about anything anybody was saying up there. I'm a little worried that her slam poetry delivery was kind of cultural appropriation.
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's adopting an affectation that is not her own. You know, she's a Judd, comes from show business royalty, and that's not her.
Yeah. Well, the person who wrote it, do you think? I don't know. Do you know who wrote it?
I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if she knows who wrote it.
I feel like she wrote
but
it.
I do know that, especially considering that she added the "you're going to get your slam poetry trial by fire." She knew what she was doing. She's she's taken on playing a role, but the Shia LaBeouf thing, the shouting, the aggressiveness is really demonstrating you've lost the idea. You've lost the battle of ideas, and instead you're just kind of trying to literally shout somebody down through the crowd of people in a museum of all places.
Yeah,
it looks pretty good.
It's right. Yeah, it's the museum.
It looks pretty moving.
He does. I mean, this is his approach to most things. He approaches things with passion, right?
He's had trouble before with the screaming and the law.
Yes.
And, right. He's not a calm person, generally.
But, Jessica, the nasty woman thing, that was there was more of the nasty woman. She kind of brought it up.
Yes, it was elongated.
Yes. Do you even remember when Trump said that? Do you know what he was responding to?
I remember.
What did Hillary got in a crack of her own, That's what he was responding to, a bit of an insult that she gave him.
He's always just responding.
Yes.
He never attacks.
He's a counterpuncher.
First. He is a counterpuncher. Nasty woman, I like it. I don't know if you've seen around the city, the etchings on the streets, right, that have the Hillary photo, and then it says nasty woman, which I think is kind of fabulous. You can walk around and see it. I did not enjoy the Ashley Judd thing. The Madonna one, I didn't as well. I think that liberal celebrities should stop helping us. Just give us a lot of money that we can invest in down ballot races and be quiet. Jake Gyllenhaal was in the audience at the Women's March in D.C., just holding a sign like a normal guy in a puffer jacket. I mean, obviously pictures ended up there of him, but he had the right idea there, which is come out, support. I'm sure he's going to give a lot of money, which is deeply appreciated. Meet some ladies at the Women's March, because you saw all the beautiful, excited ladies there.
Yes. Let me ask you about this nasty woman thing, though. What is why is that a rallying cry? What was so wrong with him saying, nasty woman? What is it?
It was like acting like a baby.
Why?
Like little kids are you're nasty.
The things that she said about
what did America?
You think saying such a nasty woman after she insults him is worse than the things that she said about Trump?
Is worse than the things that he said on the tape or something like that? Absolutely not. But it was just something in a debate. He should not have comported himself that way. But listen, he ended up winning, so obviously it didn't hurt him that much. We know that all the deplorables loved it. It has become something that is actually further dividing us, because we have people drawing it out into nasty.
If it was a man, he probably would have said, that's unfair, stop talking about my finances. But he knew what he was doing.
Yes, he knew what he was doing. And Shillue, you know what? Jessica just made a great point. She mentioned the deplorables. Contrast the nasty woman, where he seemed to be having a problem with something that Hillary said to him in a debate, and he said she was nasty. It was a critique of her. With the deplorables, an attack on Americans.
Well, first of all, I got to say I take major issue with what Ashley Judd did, because if you'd have told me 10 years ago that I'd be watching a video of Ashley Judd and it starts off by her saying she's a nasty woman, and I'd be watching it fully clothed and not enjoying it, I would have told you you're crazy. That's number one. I mean, where's Winona Judd when you need her? Am I right? I mean, we expect Alec Baldwin, we got Daniel Baldwin running around naked. Like, it's not helping anything. The approach is all wrong. And as far as Shia LaBeouf, I mean, I watch that video like I have the same thoughts as an open casket service. I go, I don't want to remember this person this way. I want to watch Fury, Holes, and enjoy them for what it was.
But not Indiana Jones 4, right?
No.
Is this how Hitler came to power? Was something like this going on?
Live streaming.
People just went, well, I guess we'll just go with this guy. It seems...
All right, let's take another look at the protester who screamed at Trump's inauguration. That was pretty dramatic. Let's see it again.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States.
Oh, please, God, no!
No! Darth Vader's my favorite one. Anthony?
Yeah, sad.
It is sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
exclamation point.
What's I mean, let's move on. I didn't know. I was trying to formulate a question.
To show her again.
I did. I just wanted to show that
They missed
video.
the best one, the champ, Ricky Schroeder, crying.
We had a debate over it. The protests over the weekend featured all the celebrities, all except one. Taylor Swift didn't participate in any of the marches, but she did tweet on Saturday, "So much love, pride, and respect for those who marched. I'm proud to be a woman today and every day." That was not good enough for many supporters of the Women's March. One Twitter user responded, "You got a bad leg or something? Why didn't you march?" The truth is, Taylor Swift had much better things to do that day. She'd made her plans with her squad. You know, I actually told her to support the march, to tweet it out. I thought that would be good enough. Jessica?
It's never good enough.
Why did they? I mean,
until her music is available for free on Spotify, it will never be good enough.
That's right. She keeps her songs off of.
She does, which is so strange that there's no backlash against her for that, or very minimal.
Well, she should, she deserves to make a living, right? What about this march thing, though? I mean, the temperatures are a little hot when they're attacking a celebrity for not going. She voiced her support.
Listen, you heard me in the first segment. I want no celebrities around anymore. We just get into trouble. So I'm cool with it. The squad, though, it's too good looking.
Yeah.
They're all too attractive.
Well, look, we have a good time together. You know, Tim.
Yes.
I think I told her.
Yeah.
About 5 years ago.
Yeah.
To deal with situations like this, I said, haters are going to hate.
Right.
And you got to shake it off.
Listen, man. She didn't go to the march. I did.
You were there.
Prove I wasn't. My point is this. There's an Instagram photo of signs in the vicinity of me.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to capitalize on it, if you're going to send a tweet out and be like, "I pride, love, and the pride, and I'm proud to be a woman today," then do it. Go. Put your money where your mouth is. Actually do it. I mean, that's the problem, and I think Jessica kind of touched on something. When these celebrities talk, people get the feeling that they're effectively leading these double lives. Yeah. Whereas they're saying that, and I get it, I get what it's like, but then they don't seem to be really communicating to people, ordinary people, that they share any of their concerns. Yeah. So just either go to the march or just kind of relax.
He's giving some options. All right, now it's time for. It was a weekend of alt news. Here's how it began. Right after the inauguration, many news outlets began featuring this photo, which contrasted the crowd size on the mall in D.C. between Obama's inauguration in 2008 and Trump in 2017. Kind of makes Trump's inauguration look lame. It was what the mainstream press loves to do. Use an image to introduce a narrative to drive their own coverage. In this case, to suggest Trump has much less support than the outgoing president. The White House pushed back with Press Secretary Sean Spicer blasting the press for playing up the photo and making this statement.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
Well, now the press really had their preferred story of the day. Here's Chuck Todd grilling Kellyanne Conway over that statement, which he called demonstrably false.
Excuse me, it does not excuse, and you did not answer the question.
I did answer your question.
No, you did not. You did not answer the question of why the president asked the White House press secretary to come out in front of the podium for the first time and utter a falsehood. Why did he do that? It undermines the credibility of the entire White House press office on day one.
Don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Alternative facts?
Some people on the panel laughing. That started a new trending hashtag on Twitter, with many in the press giggling about the new term and calling it Orwellian. NPR said the alternative facts were either delusions, or deceptions. CNN just called them lies. But Spicer's crafty statement was probably true. With streaming on computers and cell phones and a much larger global audience with access to all media, more people probably did watch this inauguration than any other. The fact is the original story was alternative facts. That is, facts and images selected by the media to allow them to talk about what they want to talk about. And Trump is going to keep offering his own alternative. Torloff, Sean Spicer was right. When will you apologize on behalf of all your friends?
Never, ever getting back together, right? That's the Swift lyric. You see what I did there? I can't believe you're going with Spicer on this one and the alternative acts idea. I mean, crowd experts have analyzed this. There were streaming devices when Obama was inaugurated. Trump is not as popular as Barack Obama.
Jessica, have you been,
what?
Did you watch the press conference again today?
Oh, yes, I did. I got bumped.
Everyone's willing to admit that what I just said was true. That
That's not true.
On a global scale, there were more eyeballs on this inauguration than any other in history. Okay, so
not everyone's willing to admit that.
Okay,
I don't even think that's what Sean Spicer meant on Saturday. I think that Trump said, "You better go do this," and so he went out and did it.
It's interesting, Dylan.
Yeah.
Marshall Dillon, what do you think of this?
I think Sean Spicer has the energy of a substitute teacher who's trying to convince you he's a real teacher. Right. And he's like, I was hired by the school, period. Shut up, you know?
Did you watch the press conference today?
Yeah.
It was less combative. He answered a lot of questions.
He watched it from the Women's March.
I watched it. I was in the Women's March with Taylor Swift, and I watched it on a streaming device. And what I found, he was better today. I did watch a little bit of it. He was much better today, thank God. You know, it seems like it's going to be 4 years of just a knockdown, drag-out, bloody brawl between the press and Trump. It seems like there's no quarters going to be given to anybody. Kellyanne Conway seems so relaxed, though. I got to give it to her. She always seems like she's in a cabana. Yeah. And she's answering questions like on her way to the pool. She never seems flustered, which I think is pretty good. She's amazing.
Well, I think the whole team is amazing, Anthony. This is what I said. I think that this was, again, Trump was punking the press. They very deliberately came out there and they made this statement, and they knew what they were saying. They were saying that, because they planned to have the audience froth about it for the day, and then they would come out and say, everybody calm down. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Do you agree with me?
Well, I mean, I don't completely agree with you. I think when you get into the semantics of it, absolutely, yes. So on a global scale, if you include streaming, more eyeballs probably watched Trump's inauguration than either of Obama's inaugurations. This metric is meaningless when it comes to the support that Trump has. It doesn't, like, people watch terrible things that they're not happy about.
But isn't that metric meaningless, talking about how many people are standing on on the mall that day?
I think this is an own goal or a self-own by the media to play a game. Trump, the Trump administration will probably be using stuff like this to brag about their support or to, claim support that they may or may not have. And the media, by trying to parse words and fine-tune this argument, are gonna play into that. It doesn't necessarily mean that Trump's administration is being welcomed by the world or welcomed by the president's by the country just because a lot of people watched it on YouTube.
Yeah. But do you think, I mean, like Tim said, it's going to be a drag-out fight the whole time. Yeah. Who do you think this is going to benefit?
Well, it's definitely going to benefit the Trump, and it always benefits the administration, just like it benefited the Obama administration when, when Hillary Clinton was able to say, we had to basically start an illegal war in Libya or there would have been a massacre, and we ended up arguing over whether or not there were jets scrambled. The arguments always benefit the administration because they can always change the narrative.
Nobody watched the Libya war. Horrible ratings.
Horrible ratings.
Didn't even get a second season.
Yeah.
Shillue, I agree with my panel here, even probably Jessica, that it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous for the press to talk about the crowd size and to tweet this photo. I mean, this wasn't like one person tweeting it out. All of the news organizations devoted time to talking about comparing these photos.
Well, when I saw the turnout, the empty white spaces where people were standing for Obama, that photo, my first thought was, he has my agent. Because I'm in Scranton next weekend and I got nothing going on.
So wait, you saw this picture and you felt bad for Trump because...
Well, I'm a comic. How many comics... We know what it's like when you have a big show and nobody turns out. Yeah. It's depressing. What's even more depressing is still having to do that show for those few that turned out. And on top of that, even more depressing, getting what you thought was money that you were going to get at the end of the night. It was all around, it bummed me out.
It is true. You look at the empty seats.
But I think they had a chance to be a little bit more honest and just say, look, a lot of people RSVP'd. They were coming. But at the last minute...
They got lost.
They were just like, you know what, maybe today I won't get my ass kicked walking down the street because it's become gangbanging politics. Like, if you're wearing a red hat on a blue street,
I wouldn't go down there. Yeah. All right, coming up, liberals keep getting kicked off planes. See, Trump told you we'd be winning.
So.
White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer has no problem confronting the media or any other scourge in America, like Dippin' Dots. Yes, Trump's spokesman has a long history of resenting the frozen treat online. Back in 2010, he tweeted, "Dippin' Dots is not the ice cream of the future." A year later, he added, "I think I've said this before, but Dippin' Dots are not the ice cream of the future." Yeah, but just said it in a different way.
Yeah.
Then he rejoiced at the company's struggles, writing, "Ice cream of the past. Dippin' Dots files for bankruptcy." And in case you think he's gotten over it, in 2015 he wrote, "If Dippin' Dots was truly the ice cream of the future, they would not have run out of vanilla. CC Nationals." Well, it only took 2 years for Sean to get a reply, but today Dippin' Dots CEO sent an open letter to Spicer writing, "We've seen your tweets and would like to be friends rather than foes." He even offered, quote, "to treat the White House and press corps to an ice cream social," adding, "We'll make sure there's plenty of all your favorite flavors." Wow, it's a nice story. Look, I think, Shillue, this shows you, Trump's about getting action.
Well, it's a very smart move on his part, and here's what he's doing. It's the same thing as an okay-looking girl going out with a bunch of ugly chicks, so it raises her stock up a little bit, okay? So what he's doing is he's surrounding himself with people who are so much nuttier than he is that after 2-3 weeks we're going to be like, let's hear this guy out, Trump. I think he's got some good ideas on stuff, you know?
Well, I think it's a perfect match. I mean, Sean Spicer, he started in 2010. Before he had any hope for working for a President Trump, he was already tweeting like Trump. These guys are
Just think, if ISIS was the ice cream of the future, we'd be done with them by now, or at least have a better handle on it.
Well, look, I think we're going to expect this from the entire administration. You know, if they see a company doing something they don't like, I mean, Trump goes after Carrier air conditioners. And he goes after Dippin' Dots.
I can tell you personally, I've gone after corporations for bad service at baseball games and gotten results. The Lobel steak sandwich at Yankee Stadium I got was terrible.
Really?
And the corporate,
That's shocking.
They got back to me and were like, "We're going to make this right. We're going to improve customer service." So you know what?
What do you think they did to make their steak sandwich at the stadium better?
Well, it was just that there's a certain kind of cut that is of Lobel standards, and what I got was subprime.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it.
For a $16 steak sandwich, I demand results.
$16 for a steak sandwich. Wow.
Well, that's right.
Tim.
Dippin' Dots has the mouthfeel of cat litter.
Wait a minute.
It feels like there's cat litter in your mouth. Why are we, if you gave Dippin' Dots to an immigrant, they would leave the country immediately.
Self-deportation.
And go back to Aleppo. It doesn't matter.
Did you say to Aleppo?
To Aleppo, yeah, because it's... What do you mean? We don't have immigrants coming from Aleppo?
Those are refugees.
Why isn't Aleppo?
Yeah, they're refugees.
Oh, with the words, all of these people always. But the Dippin' Dots is bad, so why are we having this conversation? He's right. Dippin' Dots is disgusting. There was always like at Six Flags Great Adventure, they would have a Dippin' Dots machine, and no one would go near it. Like if you saw somebody eating Dippin' Dots, you would just...
You wouldn't go near it.
No.
But I'm unclear on Dippin' Dots. Is it ice cream?
It's the texture of gravel. It's the texture of rocks on a... What do you mean no?
I mean, no. I
balls of
happen to like Dippin' Dots.
What's wrong with you?
I want to...
She wouldn't know. Can you imagine? That's not ice cream. Ice cream is creamy and it melts.
But once it's in
Trust
your
me,
mouth...
I think I'm a little bit of an authority. And Dippin' Dots it's eating paint chips. What family is giving that to their children?
Well, wait, Jessica, I want to hear from someone who actually enjoys Dippin' Dots.
His name's Tim. He's right next to you.
I mean, but is it? I need to be clear. Is it inside some kind of a shell? Is there a hard shell like an M&M on it?
It's not that hard. It dissolves a lot quicker than if you put a bunch of M&Ms in your mouth and just waited for them to melt.
Yes.
That would take longer. Stop. That would take longer.
You've had your say on Dippin' Dots, Tim.
It's like what they put in a urinal. That's the things that make the urinal
at the bottom?
Smell better. That's what Dippin' Dots is.
Whenever I go into the men's room, I wonder what that is.
It's Dippin' Dots.
Just want to say to the CEO of Dippin' Dots, just make your open letter to Tim Dillon.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, like the Trump Organization, the bankrupt company can still survive.
Exactly. Coming up, it's halftime with TV's Andy Levy.
You won't see these folks.
Dippin' Dots.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of political stuff, but that's where the heat comes from. Let's start with the Shia LaBeouf video. Tom, you described the guy Shia was yelling at as, quote, a political opponent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be clear on this. The first thing that dude did, and what set this whole thing off, was he walked right up to the camera and said 1488 into it. You know that's a neo-Nazi slogan, right?
Oh, I did not know that, Andy.
Yeah, 14 is for the 14 words. The slogan written by George Lincoln Rockwell, the founder of the American Nazi Party, and 88 is HH, because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, for Heil Hitler.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's bad.
Let's maybe not just describe him as a political opponent.
Well, I mean, he is, assuming that Shia is not a Nazi.
I'm just saying that might be soft pedaling it a little bit.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's not inaccurate, it's just not fully accurate. The Ashley Judd thing. Tim, you said whatever Ashley Judd's... yeah. That makes sense. Whatever Ashley Judd did that was embarrassing. I'm going to have to take issue with you on this because Entertainment Weekly headlined it, Ashley Judd recites powerful poem.
I do stand corrected. I think she wrote it. I would just admit you wrote the poem. Stop blaming it on a 19-year-old.
Okay. Well, that gets this. Anthony, you accused Judd of cultural appropriation. The poem was written by a 19-year-old white woman, also a Dunkin' Donuts employee.
Yes, but the delivery was the cultural appropriation part.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, you seem confused as to why nasty women has become a thing after Trump called Hillary that.
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what the deplorables did, though?
Well, I think I said, Andy, that the difference is he had a problem with Hillary.
With one
They're running
specific
against
person.
each other.
Okay.
She attacked good, hard-working Americans.
Okay. All right. Feminists are mad at Taylor Swift for not marching. Shillue, let me ask you a question.
No comment, Andy. Go ahead.
Okay. Moving on. No, my question is, do you think feminists are really mad at this, or is this a couple people on Twitter?
Oh, it's always a couple people on Twitter. That's how it all starts. Yeah. And then next, there's people that have ruined comedians' careers that weren't even at the show. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jessica, there is some talk that T Swift, I call her T Swift.
Okay.
There's some talk that T Swift's music will soon be on Spotify.
Well, that's exciting. I love me some free music-ish.
Yeah, this is why her music's not on Spotify right now.
No, I get it.
Pay for stuff.
I think so. I think it's really important too. I grew up with parents in the movie industry, and we got a lot of talks about when downloading started that we weren't supposed to do that. And my sister once bought a DVD on the corner, like on Canal Street, and brought it home. And my dad went crazy. He was like, "Do you know what pays for your dinner?" And it was a terrible scene.
Yeah.
So your family hates Asians?
What was the movie, out of curiosity?
I think it was Scream or Scream 8 or something like that.
I'm sorry, that was a local joke. No one knows what Canal Street is.
Sorry, Canal Street is a very big street in New York City where there are lots of things going on, including Asians selling fake handbags. You've just gotten me in so much trouble.
It's a good career, right?
Could you, Andy, ask someone something?
Yeah, I'm trying. I've been trying to for a while.
Hurry up.
Tim, you said prove you weren't at the march. Well, later in the show, you said you were at the march with Taylor Swift, who wasn't at the march, so I'm taking that as proof that you also were not at the march.
My parents are Asian, Andy, and I think it's a little insensitive. No, I'm kidding. No, I went to it, and I'm very supportive, and I believe that a lot of the equality that we're, striving for is the solution.
Okay.
Common sense.
Yeah. The crowd size stuff. Tom, I would give you the point that Spicer was including TV and streaming in saying it was the largest audience to witness an inauguration.
Yeah.
Except what he said was, quote, both in person and around the world, not just around the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, both. This is why I'm saying it. It was I said it was a crafty statement.
No, I think it's only crafty if you want it to be crafty.
He said both, in person and around the world, both together. Add them together,
he didn't
Andy.
say add them together.
You
He said
add
both in person. That means both of them separately.
No, each. If he said each, I would be a registered Democrat.
If he said each, his grammar would be really, really bad. Also, it's not verifiably true that it was the most watched around the world, though I do agree with you that that's probably true.
Yeah.
Jessica, you said you can't believe that Tom is going with Spicer on this one. Really?
Yes.
You can't believe that?
No, I can't, because I was on this 2 weeks ago, and he did something else crazy like that. But it's unbelievable to me that people are backing him up on this, because he definitely didn't include the streaming devices and all of that, and we all know that it was just Trump ego at play there, and he sent him out there, you know, to obliterate himself. And then Kellyanne Conway, I guess similarly with the alternative facts. So.
Yeah. All right. Here's my favorite thing, though, that Trump did along these lines. He tweeted, wow, television ratings just out, 31 million people watched the inauguration, 11 million more than the very good ratings from 4 years ago. Okay, so here's what he did there. His ratings were 30.6 million viewers, so he rounded up to 31. All right. Obama's rating 4 years ago was 20.5 million, so he rounded that down to 20 million, so that he got 11 million instead of 10.1 million as a difference.
Yeah, every little bit counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternative math.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Reagan still holds the record for the TV audience.
I saw that today.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because he was so beloved or whatever.
I guess. Also, there was less to watch on TV back then.
Yep.
So that could have something to do with it. Dippin' Dots. All I want to know about Dippin' Dots is, Tim, what the hell, man?
It's not right to say to a child, here's ice cream, and when that child looks at these weird pebbles and it scars them for life.
Clearly.
That's not okay.
When you say a child, I think you're thinking of a specific child.
I'm thinking of myself at age 30.
Yes.
But the point is that it's not right. And maybe if we're going to march, maybe we should march so that ice cream is ice cream again.
Okay. I got to go.
Make ice cream.
Yes.
Great.
Read your poem. I'm an Thank you,
nasty
Andy.
ice cream.
I think you said I got to go, right?
Yeah.
Coming up, what's worse than snakes on a plane? A liberal woman on a plane.
Save up to 80%. The jewelry.
On Saturday, a woman was escorted off a flight from Baltimore to Seattle after berating a fellow passenger for not protesting Trump's inauguration. In a Facebook post, Scott Koteski says the woman asked him if he was in town to protest or celebrate, and he said he was there to, quote, celebrate democracy. According to Koteski, the woman, who obviously hates democracy, then started insulting him, saying things like, I'm going to throw up right in your lap. And you make me sick. Don't talk to me. And don't you dare even put your arm on that rest. And you are a bigot. You should get off this plane. Flight attendants got involved, and that's where the video begins.
She has called me names and insulted me just for sitting down in the seat, saying that I came here to celebrate today.
Is there going to be a problem?
I would like for him to change seats with someone.
No, I'm going to get somebody. Well, you don't have that right.
Oh, I need to see more. You know what I'd love to see? A little bit of a lecture from her, followed by her being asked to get off the plane.
You pretend you have the moral high ground, but you put that man's finger on the nape of your butt. That man doesn't believe in climate change. Do you believe in gravity? Did you know gravity is just a theory?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can gravity belong when you come?
Right.
I'm gonna have to take you off this plane. I'm gonna have to take you off this plane right there.
The woman and her husband sitting next to her refused to leave. Here's the exciting conclusion.
I'm American. You're a citizen. Keep on walking.
Jessica, look, I'm looking for another apology to the gravity is just a theory community. I don't think she was very tolerant of them.
No, but her husband's mother had just died.
Do you believe that?
Yes, I do. I think it's
Okay.
ridiculous, but I
I
prefer
didn't know.
that to Ashley Judd. I mean, the woman's hilarious, no?
What? Oh, so you think this woman, it was okay? That
No, I don't think it was okay at all. I think people should be able to just fly in peace.
she shouldn't.
She should not have started.
She shouldn't have started.
No, you could have had one comment, why were you down here?
Yeah.
Celebrate democracy, and then she could have just said, you know, the Russians handed this to Donald Trump and been quiet.
Oh, that would.
And just left it at that.
Uh-huh.
You know, the actual
But
explanation.
should she have had to leave the plane?
Wasn't it mid-air?
It was no. That was a classic Andy Levy joke.
Oh, Andy, I still don't understand you.
my
Like
gosh.
18 months later.
That is classic. Most people don't believe stuff said from the T-Stack, Tim.
Yeah.
Jessica's particularly dumb, though.
No, I wouldn't say that. You did.
That's sweet.
Here's my thing with this woman. She's adorable.
This woman is?
She's kind of adorable. She's like an old kooky, you know, I mean, let her yell and who cares?
I feel like these kind of women, she looks like she's got, you know, she teaches at a university.
Oh,
she's a real
definitely.
know-it-all.
Definitely. She's a, you know, know-it-all. But you know what? She's not Muhammad Ali. You know, she's going to just kind of, she's going to make your flight unpleasant. But, you know.
So do you think this guy who complained, do you think he, was really being a snowflake?
I mean, I think people have to just fight it out now. I'm sick of everybody ratting on everybody. Oh, this grandma's yelling at me.
Yeah.
I can't go through the flight. Put the fear of God in her. Look at her eyes. Go, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? You're a Trump supporter. You're supposed to be cool. You're supposed to be like, I'll kill you.
Yes.
You want to get killed? Like, what happened? It was a rat.
You're
now.
right.
I hate rats. It's my position.
Shillue, I think she was mad because she had the middle seat. You're always mad when you're in there.
First of all, tell me about it. I've been there, and it is the closest to hell we will all come. Number two, the video, what it really highlights, if you watch it carefully, is the awfulness that is marriage, okay? Because, first of all, your husband, your mother-in-law dying doesn't give you an excuse to act like not a nice person, lady, okay? And number two, this poor schlub of a husband now has to get off the flight because she can't keep her mouth shut and get in everybody's business. This is why Xanax is on the market. Take a bar, and you'll be out before you taxi on to LaGuardia. Or
You're right.
wherever.
I feel bad for the husband.
Yeah.
I'm actually way more upset that this guy shot the video vertically than that he.
Oh, you're one of them.
No, it's awful. I mean, it looks terrible. There's so much more depth of field that could have been taken.
Anthony, you're a true filmmaker.
I know. I'm a snob about this kind of stuff.
I'm getting the seconds. I gotta go. I'll come to you first next time, Anthony.
All right, cool.
Coming up, 3D televisions get way more realistic. Who doesn't love being scared to death in public? As a way to promote the upcoming horror movie Rings, Paramount Pictures decided to mess with some customers at an electronics store.
Seeing a trailer, it's playing in regular 1080p right now. I'm going to switch it to 4K, which is the new technology. What's the biggest difference that you see? It enhanced more. Very vivid. It almost looks realistic, right? Yeah. Yeah, I have to grab a different remote. So we'll be right back and then we'll do that one, okay? Sure.
Oh my god, Adrian. Oh my god!
No, chill.
Oh my god. It's brighter.
Anthony, I feel bad for the couple that just wanted to buy a stove.
Yeah, this is, and people wonder why brick and mortar stores aren't going to be a thing in 5 years. You know, Amazon Prime is like the greatest thing ever. You know, like $100 a year.
Yeah.
Everything comes to you in 36 hours or less. You know, this is. I mean, I don't know. This is for a movie, you said?
For a movie, yeah. It's The Ring. I guess this girl is in the movie, and now she's got a little extra acting.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look like, not to disparage this store, but it doesn't look like a national chain, but I can't imagine you're going to see repeat business out of this.
Yeah, I don't know. Shillue, somebody's going to get hurt doing this.
Oh, I mean, first of all, chivalry's dead. I don't know if you saw the guy shove his girlfriend or wife out of the way and was like, I'm out of here. Which, not knocking him, I do the same thing. Don't worry about it. But, I'd feel bad about it when I had to take the kids to school the next day.
Jess, oh, wait, you were going to come out. I was going to go to Jessica. I mean, but let's...
You can go to Jessica.
No, it'll...
He's all queued up.
I'm all ready.
Would this freak you out, Tim?
I see people worse than that woman every day. Every single day. I see worse than the Ring girl on the subway walking around, so that wouldn't freak me out. I do think maybe it's a word of advice. It doesn't seem like the climate to terrify people now. It doesn't seem like the right way to go about it, Maybe hold off on the inciting mass panic as a marketing strategy.
It is fun, though. Look, they're getting the airtime they need, right, Jess?
Totally. I'm just going to go fully commit to the blonde moments. I thought at first, before I saw them actually crawling out of the thing, that was some new feature of television.
You thought it was like super 3D?
Just like I thought that the flight was in the air. Yeah, I
gotta go. Very special thanks, Jessica Tarlov, Shillue Agar, Anthony L. Fisher, and Tim Dillon. That does it for me, Tom Shillue. See you again.